Hey, everybody, this is John.
And inmate number 8675309.
And this is Two Farts
In the can.
in the Can. Okay. So, we normally have to say Two Farts in a can, and we try to explain that. Do you want to explain Two Farts in the Can?
Yeah, I'm pooping in front of a guy that I had to hold the inside of his pocket this afternoon. So that was pleasurable.
So, are you two an item?
Well, I'm his item, I think.
Okay. So, for those that don't know, so what we have here, we have Jason from Facebook Jail. So, we're going to get into this in just a second. Let me get a couple things going on. But first of all, Jay, let's start talking about this. First of all, did they ban you or did they ban The World According to Me?
They banned everything. So anything that's got my name on it on Facebook, I'm not allowed to look at it all. I can't send Messenger. I don't have my personal page. I can't talk to Jesus. I can't talk to my mother. Nothing at all. Anything with my name on it.
Well, let me set up what happened. Okay. So the way I even knew, I was hunting this weekend. I went with some buddies and we went hunting, and I got this message from someone that said, "Hey, why is Jason, did he leave Facebook? And did he, what happened?" And I went, I don't even remember who it was. They said that. And I try not to engage anyone until I know what in the world they're talking about. And you know that from some personal messages we had. I said, "Hey, I don't want to talk about it. I want to do my homework first and make sure." And so I went on to Facebook. I couldn't find you. You disappeared. For those that wanted to know, Karen Surratt disappeared. I guess she's in Facebook. I don't know. So you disappeared. World According to Me had disappeared. So I happen to know your number, and I called. You didn't answer. You didn't answer the phone. And then I texted. You didn't answer the text. And then I said, "I'm getting worried." You saw the text. I was like, "Hey, I'm getting worried." I didn't know what had happened. So I know I called Jill.
Yeah.
And I texted Jill, his lovely wife, and I said, "Hey, I'm hearing Jason's off of Facebook. Is everything okay?" The response back I got was, "He's in jail." Okay, I'm not going to lie. We have talked about enough stories on here that when she said he is in jail, I thought it is finally caught up with him. His past is finally caught him.
There's a 50-50 shot she's right.
And I went, "Oh my God." I said, "What?" And then she goes, "Facebook jail." And then I laughed hysterically because I thought, that is perfect. That is perfect. And so then she said, "Well, call him." So I called you and you didn't pick up again. And then I texted her and I said, "He's not answering the phone." And she goes, "Well, do it again." So I did it again. And you answered, and you proceeded to kind of tell me what exactly was going on. So that's the story leading up to where we are. And what about the call this morning, Jay? What happened this morning?
What do you mean with this morning?
I called you.
Yeah. And so, John and I have been kind of ridiculous our entire lives. And so we talked, I guess it was last night or the night before, whenever I got to talk to him. And by the way, in front of everybody, I've never missed this man's birthday in my entire life. And I got wrapped up in all his Facebook jail bullshit, and I forgot to tell him happy birthday. So I want to celebrate John's 77th birthday live on Facebook right now. Happy birthday, John. I'm so sorry that I missed it, man, because I never did that before, and it really hurt my soul when I did it.
Yes, you said 77. Just remember, you're only 2 months younger. So if that's the one you want to go with, you're going to be there in 2 months.
So I got up this morning, and after I had my time in the yard, and I got my phone call, and it's John, and he says, "Dude, I can't believe it took me this long to figure this out." He said, "We're going to do live from Facebook jail with you on Two Farts in a Can because they can't stop him from doing it." And John being my buddy, I mean, we've got bullshit together. I was like, that's my brother right there. He's on the chain gang. He just to my fucking ankle, and now we're walking down the ditch with a shovel.
So this has been an all-day thing. We have been back and forth on this. I put out a couple videos and got a lot of good responses on it.
Yeah,
got a lot of great responses about what people that were like. And here's the part that's cracked me up. I made the video, and one of the videos I said they stole your computer, and I've had 6 people ask me, "Did they really steal your computer?"
I got 3 texts. I forwarded them to you. I'm like, people are asking me, did they really steal your computer? And it was stuck up my butt, and they found it. They didn't steal it as much as they confiscated it. But yeah.
Now let's be honest. They did not take his real computer. So when I said that the Facebook police raided his home at 3 a.m. and he got dragged out of there in a sequenced thong and a red feather boa, that was a lie.
Well, 2 out of 3 is not bad.
You weren't wearing a boa, right?
I wasn't wearing any clothes at all.
Okay, so let's this all really stems from your podcast. Your podcast. We both have different podcasts that we have. We don't just do Two Farts. I do the Texas Ranger thing. You do. What is yours?
World According to Me.
Tell them what it's about.
World According to Me it's a political podcast, but for those of you that watch it, you'll be able to help those who don't watch it. But it's not that heavy right-leaning Trump. Trump is Jesus and everybody else is stupid. It's really more of an educational podcast where I come at you with logic and truth. I present the facts and let you make up your own mind. Fortunately, most of the time I happen to be right and the rest of the world happens to be wrong, but that's just coincidence.
So how long has it been running?
It's been running. It wasn't long after you and I started Two Farts. We ran that through the COVID thing, and then I think I started it in early June. And we started out with a couple hundred listeners or whatever. I mean, the first one was fun because everybody from Two Farts listened to it. So we had about 600 listens. And then the 4th of July one took off and we went over 1,000. And then we did the 2020 of the election was a board game. And that one went over 9,000 people. And so it's just been, it's hit and miss depending upon what I'm talking about. Some of it boring, some of it not. But I just kind of pick the topic as they show up. And it's been a ton of fun.
Yeah, and so for those that have asked, I went and Jay had sent his condolences yesterday. We know about Kyle and Monica and the loss of their son, and so I got asked about Two Farts there. But hey, by the way, Kyle Davis gave the eulogy for his son. I'm sorry, that's one of the coolest things I've ever seen. He did fantastic. He held it together. Monica looked fantastic. I mean, for 2 people going through what they're going through, they just absolutely floored me. They're going to help somebody someday, Jay. I'm telling you this. They're going to help somebody. Somebody's going to need and go through something like this. We all pray it's not us, but they'll be there to comfort someone because they really. I'm hats off to the Davises.
And I'll tell you, I'll chime in there too, John, because I know that myself and Kyle and Monica, we have zero in common in terms of politically. We disagree on everything, but we're all friends and have known each other since we were little kids. And I got to tell you, when you told me that he gave the eulogy, I mean, I just don't think I could do that. I don't think I have. I don't think I have that much soul in me. I think I would have just been destroyed. And the fact that they went through that and what they're going through now is just remarkable.
Well, and what it is, it's a testament to Chris. Yeah. And that shows you that they have faith where Chris is, and that they are just, look, there's going to be hard days. Days are going to come when all this is over. So let's get back to what we came to talk about. For those that have wondered about Two Farts in a Can, let's go ahead and get that out of the way. Two Farts is not over. It will still happen. It's not going to be a weekly thing. It can't be. We both have busy lives. Baseball season has another 2 weeks that I've got to try to do that. I have family that are back in school doing things. My kids aren't out of school. Jason's are. Jason's got his job. He's having fun with the election coming up. He's probably going to be busy on that with what he's doing there. We'll do one, at least one a month. We'll keep it going. This thing's never going to die. It'll be something we'll always have. It just, we may not be able, and we may just kick out 7 in a row in 1 week. if there's something to do. But more than likely, it'll be a once a month or maybe twice a month, depending on what's happened. That it's not dead. So you concur, right? We're going to keep this going.
No, I message John every week. I'm like, are we doing one this week? And he always says, who is this? And it's me from Two Farts. He's like, what's Two Farts? And so I just kind of moved on and did my own thing. No, John's right. I mean, we love doing this stuff. We do it really. It's cathartic reasons. There's an ego. There's a lot of ego involved in it too.
I have no ego whatsoever.
That's true. Well, but the truth is, I mean,
I'm not in jail.
That's very true. We would do this 24 hours a day, 7 days a week if we could earn a living doing it, believe me. But we can't. So, we got jobs and kids and families and that type of stuff. But, we love you guys and we'll be out there every time we get the opportunity.
Okay. So I think it's time. What happened?
It was kind of interesting. So it was either late in the evening on September the 10th or early in the morning on September the 11th. And I did the same thing I do every year. And anybody that's friends with me knows that on September 11th, I post this picture right here behind me. That is the Twin Towers, being hit by planes. And I post basically never forget.
This is the 19th year.
Yep. And I post never forget, and I go on to praise first responders and that stuff, which I'm certain he's not watching right now, but my son is now an actual first responder. He just finished fire school.
Your father's a retired first responder.
My father is a retired cop, and I know that Robert Davis and some of the Davis boys are first responders as well. And so, I have an affinity in my heart and my soul, as John does, for those folks. And so I try to celebrate them every time I get the chance. And especially this year with everything that's going on with the rioting and defund the police and all that type of stuff. And if you watch the podcast, I've spoken out a lot about that. So I posted that picture very innocently, honestly. And I posted it and I added some verbiage in there.
Hey, check you're kind of hit and miss for just a second. Just make sure you're.
Yep. You got me?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. So I posted like I normally do. I said some things that were on my heart that I needed to say, but nothing more aggressive than I normally say. And those of you who know me know I'm typically not aggressive. I don't curse. I don't yell or any of that stuff. But my assumption is, if you watched the last episode that I did on my podcast, Victims and Captors, it was talking specifically about heavily Democratic states and how they've been voting that way for 50 years and 100 years and that type of stuff. And within 30 minutes of me posting that picture in my post, Facebook cut me off. And so I didn't realize they had cut me off until I think it was Jill told me. And I was like, oh, shit. So I started trying to figure out what's going on. I've never been cut off on Facebook before. It's just not my thing. And John even mentioned Jason's not a danger to anybody except himself. And I would agree with him. So I started trying to figure out what's going on. And they sent me a message and said, hey, we need a copy of your driver's license to prove that this is actually your account, to find out if you're not a terrorist. I'm like, I'm posting anti-terrorist stuff and you're trying to find out if I'm not a terrorist, which was really kind of stupid. So I got on the phone and I found an 800 number for customer service. And it took me about 2 hours, but I don't give up easily. Underestimating me is a bad idea. And so I spent 2 hours on the phone. I finally got through to somebody, and I get this person on the other end of the phone, and I tell her what's going on, and she says, "Yes, sir, that's our policy. You have to send us. You've been deemed. We don't know if it's actually your account, and so we're trying to make sure that that's true." And I said, "Well, what do you need my driver's license for?" And she said, "To make sure it's you." And I said, "Okay." I said, "Well, a couple things." I said, "Let me ask you a question. I've been on Facebook for 15 years. I've had most of these accounts, with the exception of the last one, The World According to Me, for multiple years. You never asked me for a driver's license when I opened those accounts. How the hell would you know if it was me, even if I sent it to you?" And it was dead silence, radio silence for about 30 seconds. And she goes, "I don't think I understand." And I said, "I know, that's the problem. Give me a second and I'll explain it to you. I never sent you a driver's license in the first place. How would you know if it was me?" And she goes, "Sir, I don't make the rules. I'm just playing by them." And I said, "I feel the same way. I just want to play by them. What are they?" I said, and by the way, I tried to boost post, which they won't let me do because it's political. But when I started the podcast, they asked me for a copy of my driver's license. And so I said, well, if that's the case, you already have a copy of my driver's license if you look in my account. And she said, hold on. And I heard the clickety clack of the keyboard. And she came back and she said, you know what? You're right. We actually have it. And I said, great. So we're in agreement, right? And she said, yep, we'll see what we can do to get it turned back on. Well, within 10 minutes, it was turned back on. Well, anybody that's met me knows that within less than 10 seconds, I posted the exact same thing that they kicked me off the first time, except this time I shared it on every Trumpian page I could find with about a 5 million viewership and posted the exact same thing, but this time with a much harsher message towards Facebook. And within less than, I bet it was 5 minutes, they kicked me off again. And I've been off ever since. And I've been sitting here in Facebook jail, firing off emails, rapid fire every single day, trying to get somebody to listen to me.
Have they said how long you'll be in jail?
No, they haven't told me how long. They haven't even told me what I did wrong. They just posted, and I think I sent John the picture, and I'll send it again, and we can post it on Two Farts. But said my content was dangerous to the community. The interesting thing is that my post was directly below a live execution of 2 police officers in Los Angeles. And so I'm uncertain as to why I'm dangerous, but that is not dangerous. I mean, I think we all understand why. But and it's not even about a Republican or Democrat thing. It's about a freedom of speech thing. And I think my message is, I'm not trying to get too serious because this is our fun, podcast where we get to tell jokes and have a good time. But the reality is when they start shutting down anybody's voice, and I don't care who it is, if you don't have a voice to speak inside the First Amendment without somebody deciding by themselves what is right and what is wrong, we got a bad problem. The whole point of the First Amendment is to defend dissenting opinions. If we all agreed, there'd be no reason for the First Amendment. I mean, that's just the bottom line. So yeah, to this date, I don't know how long I'm going to be off. It'll probably be 30 days, and I'm not even sure what I did wrong, but I can promise you I intend to do it again.
Okay, I've been asked by a few people, was this Ron?
It's possible. It's possible. He knows about it because I spoke to him the next day. He didn't have a whole lot to say about it. And I love my dad, and he may not have known what the ramifications were going to be. But I also know that my dad, had it have been him and he realized what had happened, he would have told me, shit, son, I'm sorry about that. I didn't realize that was going to happen. But it's possible.
I don't think Ron would do that. Do you?
No, I think he'd much rather fight with me in public than get me kicked off.
Okay. All right. So let me ask you this. Have they contacted you at all?
Who? Facebook?
Yeah.
No. I fire off an email literally every single day, the exact same one. It's literally copy, paste, and send, where I ask them the exact same questions. What did I do? Can you tell me the policy and so that I don't accidentally do it again? And can you tell me how long I'm going to be off? And I've gotten 0 responses.
You may need to call again.
I'm going to call again. And I've called twice already, but they put me on hold and I sit there and I get on ignore for about an hour and a half. And then I have to go to work and it gets disconnected. So I feel confident that, at some point they're going to reinstate me. I'm sure there's an algorithm that says how long I got to be off, and we just don't know how long that's going to be.
So what happens next?
What happens next is what I'm hoping is while we're doing this, everybody going, I've got it posted up here behind me. Go to World According to Me, go to the YouTube site, watch the videos. If you like them, share them, become a subscriber. Because that's the only way we get the message out. And it's not what you think it is unless you haven't seen it. It's educational. It allows you to make your own decision. But I think you'll have a lot of fun watching. It's extremely enlightening. And the best part about it for me is doing the research, because I actually learn things myself. And I got people that call me literally every day and they're like, I had no idea that was true. If you watch the news at all right now, one of the things you're hearing is that if the election isn't decided by January 20th at 12 o'clock, the Speaker of the House becomes president. That's the law. The president and the vice president are no longer in charge, and it defaults to the Speaker of the House, which is Nancy Pelosi, which most people don't know. That's the one that went 10,000 I think it was 9,500 views on that one, because people were like, holy crap, I did not know that. But that's the truth. So those are the types of things that I try to spread to people. So the short answer is, what happens now? Well, we wait till I come back on the air. And in the meantime, don't let them shut us down. And I mean this to my liberal friends as well. If you have opinions, if you have things that you need to say, if you have things that are heavy on your heart and your mind, you need to share them on Facebook. You need to share them wherever you can, and just let people decide. Did you fart? What is that?
If you're liberal, you have opinions. No, I'm kidding. I am kidding. That you know that because I'm far more liberal than you are.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so I'm more of a libertarian. I mean, it pretty much. I as far as I'm basically concerned, everything government should just be there with a big army to tell people to stay away. That's basically it.
Yeah, that's their whole intention. Protect us from invading armies and balance and manage our money in terms of how we deal with other countries. That's really it. Everything.
Well, and natural disasters. They need to sweep into natural disasters. And I think the federal government can obviously never allow people to starve to death. So you could have government run food trucks and stuff like that everywhere to make sure everyone's fed and do stuff like that. I have no problem with that. My money going towards that is not a big deal. And being provided. And I'm not talking about housing. I'm talking about food, provide shelters, not apartments, a shelter that they can go into. That's what I believe in. And so that's what money and government should be there. And if a tornado comes and rips apart a town, government should go in and fix that. Yep. And take care and send federal aid and do things like that. That's what I've always believed. And have a strong military, which is voluntary, by the way. That's why it's so strong.
Yeah. Well, and there's, at the beginning of every show, anybody that's ever watched it knows I say the same three things. The show where perception is reality, facts matter, and the truth will set you free. That's it. Everything else is bullshit. Stop listening to it.
Okay, so one more thing before we get out of here. I think we've gone about 30 minutes here. So how can people help?
What you can do is, and I think this is fun. Actually, Joe made me this shirt. So John sent out a picture the other day. It's got parallel bars on it, and it's got some fun to it. Post that picture with Free Jason Salter, World According to Me. Get this thing moving along, because eventually they're going to let me off. And here's what I'm telling you, and I want everybody to listen to me right now. Once they let me off, I'm going to do a live broadcast, and I'm going to invite everybody that can join. And I'm hoping it's 5,000 or 6,000 people, because it would be amazing. And I'm going to give them a freaking reason to execute me live on air. I want them to cut me off while the whole world watches, while I'm telling people the truth. Not curse words, not threats, not innuendo, not circumstantial, the actual truth. And you can find it anywhere on any site that you go to. And that's what's going to happen. That's how you can help. Don't let anybody shut you down. And I know that there's a lot of liberal people watching right now going, well, I'm glad they shut that Trump supporting bastard down. It's only a matter of time before they shut you down. And that will happen to you. And when it happens, I want you to remember where you heard it first.
I'm kind of glad you're shut down. You're really kind of annoying me.
Not your cup of tea if you drink coffee, that's for sure.
I'm kidding, and you know that. Look, when I found out, I just thought it was ridiculous. I've said it all along too, and I make fun. I made my little funny joke about liberalism or whatever. Hey, I've got a lot of great liberal friends. David McClain, one of the greatest and funniest, and who make liberals. Look, when you can make fun of your own people, you really get my respect. And right. I've made fun of many people on the right. There are a lot of them. What's Jones, the guy Jones that they kicked off?
Alex Jones?
Yes. Yeah. That's what they're trying to portray you as, is Alex Jones. That's the weirdest guy I've ever seen in my life. And it's the one time that I've looked at something and went, okay.
Go to YouTube, watch the videos for yourself. If you love them, please subscribe. There's a subscription button. Click there. You'll get updates all the time. Watch them if you love them. If you don't, that's okay. It's not going to hurt my feelings. I do this for me, and I hope people enjoy it. And if they don't, well, that's okay too. But don't let them shut down our voices. That's anti-American. All
right, man. Let's roll it out. Let's get this thing going. Let's get out of here. There's no point in us talking anymore. Let's talk about some things we could do coming up. I think when we get two farts going up, are you dancing?
I am. Listen,
no dancing in two farts. We don't dance. So That doesn't happen. Don't do that. But I think we got holidays coming up. We've got a lot of stories from when we used to go Halloween, trick or treating, things like that.
Yep,
We've got we spent a lot of holidays at each other's houses.
we did. Damn near every, to be honest with you.
Yeah, so we've got a lot of great stories to come up. We got some other people we can get on. I still think we need to find Troy Chavez, get him on here. And there's one question I want to ask him, and we'll see if we can get an answer there. There's other people we can get on. You know what? I think we ought to get yes.
I don't know if you can't see this really in your picture, but on your video, it looks like there's a giant Facebook penis sticking in your mouth.
Yeah, that's my microphone. I keep going towards it. So, and I have my background
That's John's nickname for me in high school was microphone.
was. Let's see here. I had another one. Let's see. There. That's them showing up to your house right there.
That's it.
At 3:00 in the morning. So that's the one I thought people might like. Okay, listen, let's get out of here. We'll do that. You know, if you make a video, send it to me. I'll make sure it gets on Two Farts. And then if they cut Two Farts off, you talk about bad. This is a show about farts.
I'm telling you, they're shutting people down left and right. And if you don't think it'll happen to you,
no, wait, not left.
Stupid shit, and they shut me down. So if you don't think it'll happen to anybody else, it will.
They're not shutting down people left and right. They're not shutting down anybody left. Yeah,
shutting down everybody else is left.
Yeah. So, and hey, look, I am. Everybody knows I used to be hardcore conservative, and I do have a lot of conservative values, and I lean more to the right, and I admit that. But I'm not near as conservative as you are, and I try to stay in the middle, and I listen to both sides. I want to hear every bit of it. Jason doesn't, so he shouldn't be on Facebook.
True.
Okay, all right, dude. Let's tell them all goodbye. We'll get out of here. Throw them up. Deuces. Thanks, guys. We'll get this out. We'll get it back out on here. We'll get the video out on YouTube. That's Two Farts in a Can. And adios.
Peace.